Well, Cobb has released tuning software and the Accessport for the FK8 Type R. We're gonna do a deep dive into what this thing is all about for any of you 10th gen guys with an FK8 that are interested or are considering getting it, or any of you other 10th and 11th gen Civic guys for when Cobb will surely release other platforms. So let's get going. I'm gonna start off by showing you what comes in the box with an Accessport, but before I do that, I'm gonna start off actually with something else. I'm gonna give you a little bit of an update on our FK8. Obviously, we released a video about buying it shortly after Cobb released their Accessport, or at least they announced that they were releasing the Accessport. We were quick to get one. We'd been thinking about one for a while, and that kind of tipped us over the edge, and we got it. So I am slowly piling up some parts. This car is a freaking blast, honestly, for just a factory car tuned. It's like so awesome. I'm really having fun with it. So I think you guys are gonna have fun with it also after you see what is going on it. So let's check that out. Let's start up here with a Cobb shift knob. They released those shortly after the Accessport. XDI fuel pump. We are already seeing the limits of the stock fuel pump with the completely factory car, so we're gonna get into that. Thanks Uva for hooking me up with that. If you've ever watched our videos, you know how much I love radium, but this is their dual catch can kit. We are gonna put this on next, and I'm gonna talk to you about why we're doing that first and foremost. Zestek. Oh, I stumbled upon this thing and I instantly became a dealer of them. I was like, we have got to sell this stuff for the Civic. It's just such a sick product. It is a steering wheel hub. You'll have to check that out. And then a Momo steering wheel to go with it. And then we already have a turbo upgrade in the house. This is a PRL. This is actually a P600. I'm putting the P600 on because we had it laying around at the shop. We did one in-house that we made a video with, and I don't know, for some stupid reason, we never put it on the site. So the P700 is up on the site. That's the one that's currently available right now. So go check that out if you want a turbo for your Type R. But we're gonna get that on the car soon. This project is gonna go quick, so I already have that. I'm super excited. Oh, we got some tires, got some Anki wheels. That's going to be fun to mess around with. Got an 18-inch setup. Should sit nice and pretty after that. I've got a set of Öhlins coilovers on the way to the house right now. Super excited about that. I've always loved Öhlins, and I haven't had a reason to, or I haven't had a car that they really go on. So I'm excited to do that. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the Accessport. If you like this video, if it helps you out, if it helps you find what you're looking for and helps you understand more about the Accessport and the FK8, make sure you like the video by hitting the like button. If you like our content in general, if you want to keep tabs on our project FK8, please hit the subscribe button. You'll get notified. Hit the bell button too. You'll get notified of all of our future videos. So here's what the Accessport comes with. A very, very nifty carrying case. You have a USB cable right here, which I haven't touched. I've been messing around with a different cable. And a form-fitted Accessport area here. So that just pops right in there, which is super nice. This is magnetic, and this holds the Accessport. It's that double T slot. They also give you a mount for the car, and I'll show you that once we get in the car because I already have it mounted. They give you an optional black cover. The Accessport itself, a nice keychain here. I threw away the box already, so I don't have the box. This is the unlock module that you plug into the car for all 2020 and 2021 models. I will get into that shortly. The OBD2 cable, this hooks up to your OBD2 port and plugs into the Accessport itself. So this is everything that it comes with, plus the mount that I have in the car. So I've already installed this thing on the car. I'm gonna show you kind of exactly how to install this thing. It's very, very easy. So let's get going on that. When you open up that box, you can open up the box in the car and flash your car. It's that easy. With the 2020 and 2021 models, obviously you need to unlock the ECU, which is pretty easy to do. You can do it while in the car with the door open. I don't even think you need any tools really. You know, some interior panel tools might help, but you don't really need them. It's pretty easy to get off this lower panel. So let's just go ahead and start by showing you the OBD2 cable. So OBD2 plugs right into there. So that's step one. For step two, go ahead and plug the Accessport into the other end of the cable. Go ahead and turn on the car to the on position, but do not start it. Now it says, kind of gives you a guide on what buttons are what. Go ahead and press continue. And I'll be honest, this is kind of tough to see on camera. I've tried to get this thing focused and it just sucks. So I'll explain what these screens are as I go through. So step one, go ahead and click OK to install. It says, please confirm that your vehicle matches the identification results. 2020 to 2021 Honda Civic Type R. Press OK. Here are the stage maps that come on the Accessport already. So I'm just going to flash one of our other maps, but you know, stage 1 91 octane, stage 1 93 octane is what you're going to be looking at once you first get it. Now it gives you a warning. It says, warning, installation of this Accessport over anything other than OEM or Cobb software may result in an ECU or TCU failure. Please contact Cobb support if you have questions. Press OK. Gives you a warning that says you need to have enough of a battery charge to do this. So if you don't, make sure you're on a trickle charger or, you know, some sort of charger that has enough power to make the battery last while it's flashing. Go ahead and press OK. It's going to please wait while the Accessport generates vehicle data. It says your ECU is currently locked. Connect the unlock dongle and press continue to unlock your ECU. Press exit to abort. So we're going to install that now. Now where you're going to be working is right underneath here. You're going to be pulling off this lower panel right here, including these buttons right here. There's two sensors, or two buttons that you have to unplug on the back side of this. And we're also going to be taking off this part of the panel right here, right above the gas pedal. So these can be kind of tricky to take off. But as you can see, just with a little bit of force, not too much, kind of feeling right where that limit is and just going barely past it, pops it right off. Now this side has something connected to it, and I believe that that's the interior cabin temperature sensor. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what that is there. It's held on pretty strong by that rubber tube. You can go ahead and leave that connected. It'll hang from there. Just be careful. And then pull off the lower section here of the left side. Same type of concept there. You know, if you've ever pulled off plastic, you know how cringy it gets. You just, you know you're probably about to break something, but just be careful. I'm doing this all with one hand here, so with two hands it'll be a lot easier. So it just pops right off there, and you can see the two connectors right here. So I'll try to do this with one hand again. There's one, there's the other, and this thing just kind of hangs down here. So try not to hit it as it's hanging there. Now when you go up here, this right there is what you want to remove. You're going to plug the dongle into. Very easy to remove. You're going to plug it into the wired side or the male side. The plug is going to be the female, or the dongle is the female side, and you'll plug it into the male side of the plug right here. So this on the Accessport dongle plugs right in. And it only goes one way, so you shouldn't be able to mess it up. Oh, all one-handed here. There we go. Plugged in. All right, now let's go back inside the car. ECU successfully unlocked. Disconnect unlock dongle and connect to gateway module, then press continue to proceed. So we'll go ahead and do that now. We're basically just undoing what we just did, and that whole procedure of the dongle is all done. Okay, now I've got the panel all put back together. Everything's back to normal. We're gonna press OK. It says please turn ignition key to the off position, turn ignition key to the on position, and immediately press OK to continue. So you'll cycle it one time real quick, press it off, press it on, press OK. Please wait while the Accessport prepares the vehicle. And there you go. As you can see, the status bar begins after about, it's about a minute and a half it takes to begin this process. And then this will probably go about another minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes or so. So, you know, it's about a 4 or 5 minute process at the most. But this is what it takes to flash certain cars. So this is pretty easy. And once it gets to 100, we will continue. All right, there we go. We're at 100%. Installation successful. Please turn ignition key to the off position for at least 15 seconds before starting vehicle. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Turn everything off for 15 seconds. Turn the vehicle back on. And you can start up the car right now. There we go. So obviously that was a pretty easy process. Now, one of the cool things, I'll turn the car back on here. On the Accessport, you have your gauge menu. You have like a performance feature where you can measure the acceleration performance of your vehicle. That's for like quarter mile times and 0 to 60 times. It's, you know, it's based on math and reading the ECU. It's not exact, but you know, it's a fun feature to play with. Troubleshooting helps you diagnose and troubleshoot your vehicle. It reads the DTC codes. This is how you would switch from one map to the other. And then this is how you would uninstall the Accessport as well. The gauge menu is kind of the main feature of the device itself. As you can see, I have already set this thing up to see AFR actual in the top left, boost pressure in the top right, short-term fuel terms in the top or in the middle left, intake air temperatures on the right, knock retard in cylinder 1 on the left, fuel rail pressure actual on the right. You can change the gauges to show anywhere from 1 to 6 different functions, and you can read as many functions as the Accessport has access to. So, you know, boost pressure, AFR, those are the obvious ones, short-term fuel trims, stuff like that. You know, knock ratio, like anything that you want to read, you can put on here. And you do that by just selecting which area you want to change. You know, I probably don't need intake air temps really anymore. So let me change that. As you can see, you can do ignition timing, which is actually a good one to view if you want. Anything from stuff that most people don't really know about, HPFP, spill valve duty cycle, you know, stuff like that, to what gear you're in, fuel rail pressure desired, actual exhaust manifold pressure, and so on. So this is just all sorts of stuff. Barometric pressure is a decent one if you're traveling through the mountains, just to see kind of what the atmospheric pressure is like. So anyway, that is that. I mean, it's that easy to go in here and change all this stuff. Let me kind of jump outside the car real quick. I wanted to answer a few questions that I've seen online from some of you guys about, okay, this is great. I've just installed this. We know what tuning is like, but you know, what are you getting with the Accessport? Kind of some frequently asked questions I've seen out there. Let's kind of jump into that. All right, so let's talk about your tuning options with the Accessport. Like exactly what do you get as far as a tuning package goes? So if you've read anything about it, obviously the Accessport is going to come with a stage 1 map. It also comes with a stage 0 map technically, but that's just a kind of it's mimicking the stock map. Technically, it's not the stock map because you're on the Cobb Accessport, but it's basically a copy of the factory ECU settings, stage 0. Stage 1 is the only map that they offer off the shelf right now, and they offer it for 91 octane and 93 octane. 93 octane is going to be probably a little bit more aggressive timing values. That's what we've seen so far as the only differences. So, the extra octane allows you to run a little bit more aggressive in ignition timing, but boost is actually going to be pretty similar. So those are the off-the-shelf maps. Now, with other platforms that we're all used to in the Honda world, with K-Tuner and Hondata, obviously you can custom tune those platforms as well. You can custom tune the Accessport as well. However, the major difference is you cannot tune the car yourself, which really doesn't change much. I mean, the majority of people are not tuning their own car, right? Like, that's what you hire a tuner for. That's why we exist and other tuners out there exist. And so what you're going to do is take data logs that you go out and do on the road in, a safe environment on your own. And you're going to send those data logs to your tuner, and they are going to create a map or adjust a map and send it back to you. You upload it to the Accessport, you go out and do another data log and do that exchange until your car's tuned. Now, that's e-tuning. You do that on the dyno as well. That's obviously a safer, more practical, convenient environment, more controlled environment. So you can custom tune the car. You can put a big turbo on there. You can put on all the parts you want. You can put a bigger intake on the car with a larger diameter MAF housing. There is not a checkbox like on Hondata to say, hey, I have the PRL race MAF. You have to do the scaling yourself. But that's the tuner's job, obviously. And that is not a very difficult task to do at all. If you have any competent tuner, they're going to be able to perform a MAF calibration. So, you can put whatever intake you want on the car. What's also cool about that is you can just scale the MAF yourself regardless, or the tuner can scale the MAF regardless. So if there's any short-term fuel trims that need to be corrected, they can do that regardless of the intake. That can all be done through the Cobb software. One limitation it has is flex fuel right now. Flex fuel is not available for the Accessport. However, Cobb has flex fuel for multiple different vehicles. And if flex fuel is able to be done through the factory ECU, you can pretty much bet that Cobb is going to give you access to that at some point. That what probably will be in the future for the Accessport, for the Civic. So, I can't promise that. I don't know 100% for sure. I don't know anything more than what you know at this point about that. But you can probably count on that coming out. So if you have a need for flex fuel right at the moment, right at the time that we're releasing this video, this may not be for you. But make sure to just check up on that and see what the latest is with Cobb, if it's been released or not, if they're talking about it. And you can make the decision from there whether you want to do that or not. So flex fuel is a limitation. Now, just to let you know, you can still tune with ethanol. What you would do is tune with pump gas and then tune with, let's say, like a 30% mixture or 40% mixture, whatever you're targeting for your mixture. Create a different map for that. And then you'll have both maps. You'll have to flash between the two. But you can tune with ethanol. So it's not a restriction to tune with ethanol. It's a restriction right now just to use a flex fuel sensor where the tune is designed to switch back and forth between different ethanol content, ethanol mixtures. Do you have to send in your ECU? Obviously, I answer that question. No, you don't. Every year model, you can flash while on the car. So that is not an issue. You don't have to send your ECU in anywhere. Do you have to have it plugged in at all times? No, you don't. You can flash it, unplug it from the car, and go run, and you're on that map. The Accessport is a really useful thing to keep plugged in because of the gauge functionality, because of the data logging capability. So you can use it a lot, but you don't have to. Can you return it to stock? Yes, and I kind of touched on that before. You can uninstall it, return it to stock. You can sell the device if you get rid of the car. For whatever reason, you can sell the device, give it to somebody else, and they can flash it to their car. You have to unmarry it first. You have to uninstall it first, but yes, you can uninstall it. All right, so at this point, we are going to go data log, and I'm going to show you how to do that. It's a very simple task. Let's jump back in the car, start up, and head out on the road. Okay, so once you're ready to do a data log, Make sure your car is warm. Make sure you got your Accessport right here. I told you earlier I was going to show you how it's mounted. It's mounted right here on the right side dash. Super convenient, out of the way, but easily visible. So once you have your gauge screen set up, all you need to do is press the center button in order to initiate the log. At the top it says not logging. Once you press the center button, it'll say logging on it. It takes about 3-4 seconds, so make sure you don't start your pull until it says logging, and you're pretty much ready to go. So what I typically do for a third gear log, which is what I'm going to do right now, make it quick and easy, I start right at 2,500 RPM, and then I'll do a full sweep of the entire RPM range to about 6,800 RPM. You can usually go to like 65, unless you're really targeting the entire range, but usually 65 to 6,800 is just fine to make sure you know what the vehicle's doing. Anyway, that's how you do a data log. So let's go ahead and do one. Once you're done logging, just go ahead and press the OK button again, and that's a data log. It's all stored on your device, and you're ready to send it to your tuner. We've done our data log. Let's go ahead and upload it to the computer. I'm going to show you how to use Accessport Manager to manage those logs and map files in exchanging them with your tuner and so forth. If you don't have Accessport Manager, let's go ahead and go through how to download that right now. Head on over to cobbtuning.com, hover over software, and click on Accessport Manager. That'll bring up a screen that gives you the option to download it for either Windows right here or Mac right here. So go ahead and select the right one. I already have Accessport Manager installed on my computer, so this is what it looks like here. So there's a few things that you'll be seeing right away. This section right here is a drop down that shows you your maps and data logs. This is primarily how you'll use the Accessport Manager. So here are your maps. Like these are 3 maps that Alan and I have been using to custom tune. These are the off-the-shelf maps that come preloaded on the Accessport. So these 3 will be here on every Accessport right when you open this up. If you want to save one of these maps to your computer, you can save it right here, but usually you are going to upload maps to the Accessport Manager through this button right here. And then with data logs, as you do a data log, it'll save it on the Accessport. When you plug in the Accessport, it'll put them right here, and you can just select any one of these. You can save it to your computer, send that to your tuner. Once you don't need that file anymore, you can put it in the trash and then it disappears. You want to make sure to check for firmware updates here and there. Cobb does release those periodically for any updates or bug fixes or anything like that. Click on AP Info. That gives you all the information about the Accessport itself that your tuner, like if you're getting e-tuned by us, you would take this, send it to the tuner so that they can create your file specifically for your Accessport and lock it to your Accessport, and they use that information there. So pretty simple, nothing too complicated. And once you're done getting all your maps and data logs set up and put into the right folders and used properly, just go ahead and eject the AP, close out, and go ahead and take your Accessport out to your car and flash it or data log or whatever you need to do. It's pretty simple. It's pretty self-explanatory, to be honest, but that gives you a good rundown of what to expect when you get an Accessport. So this is all very user-friendly stuff. It's easy to use for any given user. This is the most that you'll use an Accessport without actually being a tuner yourself. Just sending maps, doing data logs, everything I just showed you is the most you'll ever use your Accessport. So a lot of people will just buy an Accessport, flash an off-the-shelf map, and be done with it, which is completely okay. There's plenty of fun to be had doing it that way as well. But the custom tuning side is really where Cobb starts to shine, especially for doing stuff like this, bigger turbos. So we're very, very excited to get going on this thing. I showed you the parts that we have in stock ready, or at in my home garage ready to put on the car. I'm really excited to get this thing going. Our next video will be the Radium dual catch can setup. I've already looked at the instructions for that through Radium. Pretty easy install, it looks like, so we'll get into that. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you comment, let us know whatever questions you have, let us know what you think of the video, and we will gladly answer you and help you. That is what we are here to do. Thank you for joining me. Stay tuned on all the Type R stuff. It's gonna be fun. See ya.